Hi there, this is Nikki Rowland for Hit Kit Club, and today I am designing a layout using the September kits. I have the September main kit, the Project Life kit, the Embellishment Kit and the Colour Kit. I'm also working with the Maggie Holmes Willow Lane Stamps from the August kit and the Colour Kit from August too. So I am using these stamps here to create some flowers. I've got a little acrylic block there and I'm going to stamp them in with embossing ink. Apologies the fact that I don't have a large acrylic block. I actually use my Big Shot plate to do that. It works just as well. So I must get myself one. But anyway, so what I'm doing there is I'm stamping in embossing ink and putting some embossing powders over the top there. And I'm going to go and heat emboss those in just a moment. I really wasn't sure how well these stamps would take to embossing powders because they're very detailed, and I was worried that we would lose some of the detail by using the embossing powders. However, it didn't at all. It was it took really well to the embossing, and actually much better than just the normal regular stamped images. So I'm stamping some regular images here as well. I made the mistake of stamping them onto textured cardstock, just a scrap that I had next to me. And they haven't come out that well, but I'm happy with the distressed look. And now I'm going to spend a little bit of time fussy cutting those out. So I've got the two flowers and the little ones as well that are heat embossed, and obviously all of the other ones that I've stamped too. I'm absolutely in love with this Houses paper by Maggie Holmes Willow Lane. I've used the yellow as a border around the outside edge of my layout, and I've fussy cutting out some of those houses. The photo I'm going to use today is with a picture of me and my little baby at home, so I figured that the houses worked well with that, and they were going to be the focus of my layout, but in the end I don't have quite so many houses as I first thought, and obviously focus a bit more on the flowers. They're the stamps that I stamped, and I'm going to fussy cut those in a minute too, so in the end they turn out to be the focus of my layout. What I'm doing right now is I'm using that absolutely gorgeous gold vellum that came in the September kit. It's the same pattern as the blue Maggie Holmes Willow Lane one that we had in the August kit, but it's in gold foil on vellum, so absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just spending a bit of time fussy cutting out that really large spray of flowers there. Obviously those flowers also match the stamps that I've been using today too, so that all works really nicely. And I figured that I'm going to have the gold flowers as a background to my photo. I'm going to have a big cluster of my photo and flowers, and that's the big gold flowers are going to house my photo and everything else. So right now I'm fussy cutting out all of those stamped images. I've got a few different colours, so I've used a deep aqua, a pink, like a grape yellowy colour that matches the border of my layout. And also a lighter shade of aqua too, to pull in the different colours on that Maggie Holmes Willow Lane paper, the one with all the houses on. I took my colour inspiration from that sheet, and I'm just tucking those in under my photo, under the flowers. They just provide little pops of colour here and there. I've got some big ones, some small ones. I'm using the big ones as layers under my photo, and I'm using the smaller ones to put around the edges of that big cluster too. But before I stick anything down, I'm going to use some of the sprays. I've got here, that one I've just used there is the Well Blue Me Down spray from the August colour kit, and I've also got the pink one there, the Cotton Candy from the September colour kit. That goes really nicely with the blue and the pinks that I've pulled out from the Maggie Holmes collection too. And of course the other one that I'm using here is Minor 49er, which is an Inklingz Shimmerz product, and that came in the August colour kit too, and goes beautifully with the gold flower spray that I've got on the layout too. So I've just created a large area of mixed media there. And I'm adding some flicks of the different colour paints as well all around the edges. Obviously I'm going to cover most of that up with my flowers, there you go. Because I'm too impatient and haven't waited for my mixed media to dry properly or blasted it with a heat gun, I've put my vellum on there straight away, and it's curled up. It really curled up, and just did not want to lay flat at all. As soon as it hit the moisture, it kind of curled away. So I had to put quite a bit of tape in between or underneath quite a lot of the flowers there. So yeah, anyway, that's a little known tip there for you. Make sure your mixed media layouts are dry before you apply vellum, because otherwise it curls. But actually it's given me quite a lot of dimension, and I love dimension on my layout, so happy days. So I've got everything kind of in place now, and I'm just trying to work out my title. I really love the Vicky Boutin thickers this month. They have got some fantastic phrases on, and I've gone for collect moments, and I'm just trying to work out how to position that onto my layout. Obviously my layout is quite low down, so I've got lots of space at the top, but that title's huge, and it feels to me like it needs to either be all along the bottom, but then I wouldn't have much room to add anything else. So what I decide in the end is to put collect at the top of my photo cluster and moments at the bottom of my photo cluster. I feel that that works the best. I would say I think I would have preferred it from a visual point of view to all go along the bottom, but then I really wouldn't have had much room to put anything else. So I opted for the top and bottom instead. I've ripped the top of my white cardstock base there, because I really love that sunshine on my mind phrase that appears at the top of that yellow Maggie Holmes paper that I've used as my background, my border for my layout, and I wanted to show it off, and obviously it was all mostly covered up by just having a small border. So by ripping off the top part of the layout, I've revealed that, and I really like the way that looks. So I'm just going through and tucking in bits and pieces here and there. I've pulled out some flowers that I'd fussy cut from a previous layout, from the Indigo Hills 2 collection in the yellow colour that went the best with the layout that I've created so far today. There's a few more flowers going in there, fussy cut ones. I've used one of those funky foam flowers by Amy Tangerine in the yellow at the bottom left of my photo. I'm just going through and adding a few extra bits and pieces, so just getting my layout stuck down there now. And I love this gold washi tape, the really thin narrow one. It's a Maggie Holmes Willow Lane one again, and the same kind of pattern, and the gold, it's just beautiful. And what I'm actually going to do now is add a couple of rows of gold stitching through those 2 rows of washi tape using my sewing machine. I've sewn through the washi tape for 2 reasons, mostly because gold thread is one of my favourite things to use, and I thought that would look nice through the centre of the leaves on the gold washi tape, but also because narrow washi tape tends to peel off sometimes, and I figure that it needs a bit of extra securing, so I've stitched through, and definitely isn't going anywhere now. Okay, so that is my layout complete. Thank you so very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed my layout, and that was Nikki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.